Hey everybody, and welcome back to another 52-week movie challenge, the last episode probably ever of this. I don't know if I'm gonna do this again. It's not gonna be next year, so bear with me. I won't be doing it next year, but I will be doing it. I think in a couple years, maybe 3 years. I don't know, some other time, or maybe Paul will do it eventually. But anywho, the plan was to do it from January to December, from the January 1st to December, I guess 28th, and we're gonna end. And so there you go. That's 52 weeks. Holy crap. So God. So what I'm gonna do on this episode is I'm gonna do my normal spiel, and then I'm probably gonna kind of talk about the whole experience and stuff. So here we go. Week 52, which was a movie released the decade you were born. I chose, obviously, the 1988 film Big, because I was born in the 80s. Aspect ratio is 1.851. Runtime is an hour and 44 minutes. Date challenge completed was 12/27/22. Genre is comedy fantasy, rated PG. I forgot to write that in there, but I'll do that. It's PG. It's not PG-13. It probably should. Like nowadays, it would be PG-13, but it's PG. The rating system was different in the 80s. Well, we'll talk about a lot of stuff. Um, Starring Tom Hanks, Elizabeth Perkins, Robert Loggia, and John Hurd. Tons of people in this movie. And I actually learned something about one of the guys, and that I did not know, and we'll talk about that probably in a little bit. Directed by Penny Marshall. Uh, Produced by James L. Brooks. Written by Ann Spielberg and Gary Ross. Music by Howard Shore. Awards received: ASCAP Award. Uh, Top box office films or box films. What's his name? Howard Shore won, and a Saturn Award winner for Tom Hanks. Why did you choose this particular film? Because it's one of my all-time favorites. Have you seen this movie before? Yes, so many times. Would you recommend this film? Why or why not? Yep, yep. I love this movie so much. Which character would you most identify with or connect with in one way? I'm actually gonna say somebody. I'm gonna say Josh Baskin, because as a 13-year-old and as an adult, because of his childlike likeness and everything. And plus, I was always small. I never got to ride those big rides and stuff, and I always felt like a complete, I felt too small. I mean, I never wished to be big, and I'm very glad I saw this movie at a young age because I would not want to wish to be big. I would not wish to be older where I have to like throw myself into a world I had no idea what to do. Best line or memorable quote. I wrote down I don't get it. And that was probably one of my favorite scenes. Were you surprised by the ending or would you do it differently? No, when I first saw it, I really hoped he would become a kid again. But now as an adult, I felt bad that that he had to leave everybody. He actually started to enjoy being an adult. So that was nice. Uh, Shh, baby, Rocky. You guys probably can't hear him because can only hear me. But all right. Let's see. How have movies changed since this release? There are a few things different that in this movie that probably the Hollywood wouldn't do now, but not much, much different. And we'll probably get into a little bit of that. I mean, there's just some things like little minor changes and tweaks that they would do, differently, as far as the portrayal of him. But like once again, it was a product of its time. and it wasn't like it wasn't bad, there wasn't anything. I mean, it was PG, it was very harmless. It's kind of sweet. It's another reason why I want to end on Big because it's probably one of my favorite, like if I'm sick or I'm not feeling good and I can watch something, I'll watch Big. Imagine this movie being remade today. Would the story need to change? Who would you want to play the main characters? Oh, I didn't see that part. So if it was remade today, because it did sort of get remade as 13 going on 30, uh, with I want to say Jennifer Gardner, um, but trying to think, um, what would I do differently? Like, or who would I cast? What would I do as a for a remake? I mean, I, I guess I mean so many of these sort of do get remade in some way or another, just called something different. Like there's a movie called Little, so it was like the exact opposite, instead of becoming big, the adult becomes the child. And then there's vice versa, which is a body switching movie where the adult becomes the child and the child becomes the adult. Um, there's all these sort of things. So it's been remade a lot of times in some form or another. I would say, I had to cast because there's nobody that could kind of replace Tom Hanks as an adult because you'd have to think of a 30-year-old. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I'll probably say Chris Pratt would probably have a fun time with that, or Ryan Reynolds would have a good time. Um, I think it's just they would probably even they would not want to just remake Big. They'd want to make it a little bit different. So I don't know. Adam Sandler would have fun time with that, I think. Um, but they wouldn't. Nobody can replace Tom Hanks. And after rewatching it, I absolutely 100% believe that because rewatching this movie, Tom Hanks is Josh Baskin. And I don't know, like I didn't go into deep research mode or anything, find information like this out, but I have a feeling that he sort of hung out with the kid who played Josh, David Moscow, and probably got to get to know like certain things he did that sort of went with his character because they sort of both do seem like he seems like the adult version of that kid. And there's that ending where he kind of like they both kind of wave and it looks so similar to each other. And I mean, maybe it's because it was the same day and they were probably both there and they both made sure to like wave the same way or whatever. But it really looked like they were like, the same person, just one older and one younger. And so he did such a great job. Um, so I don't know. I really wouldn't want to cast anyone else. Anything else you'd like to add? No, you can watch it on Disney Plus, interestingly enough. And I really enjoyed doing this. So let's get into it. Let's get into Big. Uh, so Big, I used to watch all the time on like repeat, on loop, when I was a kid because it just made me feel good. There were so many great scenes in the movie where um, I just knew, and I know every line of the movie still to this day. I can quote it. So like, you know, little things, and I'm like, it's this scene. I can't wait. And it's just one of those movies you can put on. You can put on when you're doing work. You can put on when you want to relax. It's just a good movie. Oh, I forgot to mention 5 stars. I gave it 5 stars. And that is a high praise. But this is literally on my top 10 list of movies. You know, it's just one of my favorites. And Spielberg co-wrote it with Gary Ross, but like Anne Spielberg is very much known as Steven Spielberg's sister, and she should have made more movies like this, like family comedies that everybody can watch and enjoy and stuff. And this was just Penny Marshall did such a job directing it. Penny Marshall was fantastic. James L. Brooks, I didn't even know he produced it. That made me happy. It's just such a great movie. Tom Hanks delivers an incredible performance. David Moscow, who plays the younger Tom Hanks, is so great. There's like that little scene where he's in love with that girl. Sadly, she hasn't really worked since Big. I don't know, but he had the crush on the girl, and he stood in line for the ride and everything, and she's asking him questions like, "Is this your first time?" Yes. Is this blah blah? Yes. Is that are those your parents over there? Where? Yes. Like they did such that scene, like everything is just great. Elizabeth Perkins, who you get to meet, she is just fantastic in this movie. She's always smoking, which I was like, I mean, I guess it's 80s, so they really did do that. Like, smoked in buildings, smoked everywhere. It wasn't until like the 90s, I think, late 90s maybe, that like things started becoming more like less and less smoking around. Um, but it was such a cool like little experience. Just and I was mentioning it to some people earlier on Facebook. It was a little strange, like because he says, "I wish I were big," right? And in my mind, if you're gonna wish you're big, you're not gonna. They're not. The wish wouldn't be granted of making you an adult. You know, it would make you big, like a little husky, or something. Um, but or what I think he should have said technically is, I wish I were taller, you know, which unless you give them a specific height, I wish I were 6 feet tall, you know, right? Which that would be an interesting movie. Somebody gets 6 feet tall, based on a wish, and they still look the same. So they get the really small head, but the really big, long body. That could be kind of funny. I don't know. CGI, you could do that. Um, but I don't know where you go with there. I guess then you could join the basketball team and become a really good basketball player or something. I don't know. Um, but it was, something like that. It was, it's been an interesting sort of ride to rewatch this because looking back at it, I was like, oh, and by the way, people did point out that he probably, multiple people pointed out that, when he said, "I wish I were big," the wish knew in his heart what he wanted because it's a magical wish. It's gonna know what you want out of your wish, like what your true wish is. So I guess his wish was that he was an adult, but like I'm like thinking, really, would he really want to be? I guess he'd want to be a grown up because he want to be treated like a grown up. And maybe I kind of wish that they did more of that, in the movie. Like showed him as a, I mean, they didn't need to because it already was like an hour and 44 minutes. They didn't need to make it too much longer. But maybe some stuff with him as a kid where he's a you know, he's sort of like tired of not being treated like a grown up and being treated like a kid, you know? Um, Maybe he's not being listened to by his parents, or he's oh, you're too young, nobody cares, that kind of thing. And so they never really showed too much of that. They showed obviously the line where he's going for the roller coaster, and he just did not meet the height requirements. But they didn't show most of his, wanting to be an adult thing. There was that line that Cynthia, that was the girl's name, said. He was like, "This is Derek. He drives." I'm like, I mean, did she really need to like kind of rub that into to them? But anyway, um, yeah. So Cynthia Benson had no interest in Josh then, but maybe one day she sees Josh for the sweet person he is, and then he looks like Tom Cruise, or not Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks. Whoa, wrong Tom. Tom Hanks as a so there you go. Uh Honestly, like I said, I really like Robert Loggia. This scene particularly is very memorable. They even have it in the poster. Just with Tom Hanks, though. That's why I wanted to get this picture of both of them because that to me was the best part. Like both of them together playing. Um that they were having such a fun time, and it was his way of bonding with his new boss, and kind of he's not meaning to like suck up or anything. He's a child. He's a 13-year-old working at a toy store, toy company. Of course he's gonna work his way up because he knows, all the stuff. He is what they're marketing toward. And so I just love it. And I love that, like, the girl, Elizabeth Perkins' character, I think Susan, I think was her name. She is like so into him, not because he's good looking or funny or whatever. It's because he's so childlike that it makes her enjoy it, you know? Like it brings out her child. And watching the movie sort of brings out my childhood and stuff. Like it brings my feelings of when I was a child out. And if you haven't seen this movie, please do because it is such a sweet, freaking charming, amazing movie. If you have seen it and you haven't shown it to your kids, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but like this is something that I still think kids today would get into, They would especially boys, I think. I don't know about girls or not, but girls may like 13 going on 30 a little bit better. But boys would definitely get a kick out of this because this is like every kid's fantasy is to grow up and be able to do the things, like I could get a job. I could, when he gets his first paycheck, he's screaming and excited and just all that stuff. It's just amazing. If you haven't seen it, please go see it. So, whoa, with that being said, that's it. That's my review of Big. I hope you guys enjoyed this whole experience. I mean, Uh, the book is called Everyone's a Critic, the 52-week movie challenge. Um, yeah, it's a it was an interesting experience and experiment, and I did not think honestly that I would, I thought I would fall behind on a couple and then just give up, you know, but I didn't. I every week I did a new one, and it just kind of went like that. Like this year, 2022 has been a kind of a crazy year. It hasn't been the greatest year, I'm not gonna lie. And it has nothing to do with this book. I had a fun time doing that. A lot of times I used it to watch things I had never seen before. A lot of times I also chose to watch like Ghostbusters and Big were two movies that I absolutely love, and I wanted to end it on that. But then there was, Paper Moon. I'd never seen Paper Moon. I'm gonna go through some of these and real quick. Like, the first one ever I did was The Deer Hunter. So I chose this to watch movies I hadn't seen, and this had won Best Picture, so I chose that. A movie classic, I chose All the President's Men. I'd seen it before, but it had been a while. Um, I said I hadn't seen it before, but I think I'd seen bits and pieces of it, you know. So I'd never seen the whole thing. Low budget, big box office. Had to go with the Blair Witch Project. Not my favorite movie. Still not. Wasn't my favorite movie then. Still not my favorite movie. A film starring animals. I did the remake to Dolittle. It was pretty great to me. A lot of people hated it. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Early film of a very famous actor and actress. I chose Nicolas Cage and Valley Girl. Um, enjoyed that one a lot. You gotta give a lot of 5 stars. I think I'm way too nice in the beginning. You can see later, I'm not giving many 5 stars to everything. I did this for Big because it's one of my favorites. But Day for Night, a film with subtitles, gave 5 stars. I don't 5 stars for Frankenweenie? What is wrong with me? Looking back at this, I'm like, I don't know. It was just ah. Dunkirk deserves 5 stars. Okay, set during a historic war, Dunkirk deserves 5 stars. Okay, good. Whew. An independent film, Scotch and Milk. I watched that. Oh boy, but I was very happy to do it. I'm not really like I'm not gonna show this movie, I don't think, on any film cafe because it's too fucking long. It's like 2 hours long or something. Like how long? Let's say I didn't put the 2 hours. Yeah. Nobody wants to sit around and watch a boring indie film for 2 hours. 4.5 stars for Oliver and Company. 5 stars for Clockwork Orange, that controversial film, Clockwork Orange. Yep. 4.5 stars for the Muppet movie. Enjoyed that. Based on a true story, The Disaster Artist had to give that 5 stars. That's one of my favorite movies too. A B movie, Low Blow, got 3 stars. Choose a silent film, The Kid, got 4 stars. An animated feature film, The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Been wanting to watch that for a while. Gave that 5 stars. Jesus Christ, I'm giving 5 stars to like almost everybody. The new Dune is set in a distant future, and I gave that 4 stars. Wow, it's kind of harsh on that one. If I'm giving everybody 5 stars, 4 stars for Richer vs. Poor, Trading Places. Not really one of my favorite movies. I mean, it was good, it was enjoyable, but it's not something I want to watch and watch and watch over again. Honestly, set during your favorite time period, mid 90s. And that was 4.5 stars. I enjoyed that one. I want to buy that soon. Film that won Best Cinematography is The Towering Inferno and gave that 4 stars, 5 stars. 5 stars. Musical, Alice's Adventure in Wonderland, give that 2.5. 2.5 stars. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not any of the good Alice in Wonderland. Film that takes place before the year 1900, The New World. Give that 5 stars because that's fucking fantastic. New release, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I gave that 5 stars because I had a lot of fun with that one. Film celebrating its 25th anniversary this year, Future War, 1997. I gave that 1.5 stars. Oh man, it got Robert Zadar in it, so you know it's fun at least. A film that features an illness, The Big Sick. I really enjoyed that one. Gave that 5 stars. God, I really am giving 5 stars out a lot in this. A film with strong female lead, Wonder Woman 1984, and I gave it 3 stars. I'd probably now, if I look back, I'd probably give it 2.5. It was it was okay, but rewatching it, it doesn't hold up. Sing Street is a set during the decade you were born. I gave that 4.5 stars. Based around a sport. And I did Sing Street for that before. I think I said that. Based around a sport, I did Hustle, Adam Sandler movie. Give that 5 stars. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. I had a lot of fun. I had so much fun. I had to show people it. Like it's one of those movies. A remake, Dumbo. Okay, 3.5 stars. Um, with Tim Burton directing. It's okay. It had some good moments, but then it didn't. I think all the fun stuff from the cartoon they took out to make it more realistic, and I think that's what I hated about it. Like I'm like, I don't want to see a realistic movie about a circus treating an elephant poorly, you know? Like I don't want to see that. Like I mean, he's flying or whatever, but it's still whatever. A film festival winner, Short Term 12, which I had heard about when I did it, and 5 stars for sure. That was really good. It's directed by the guy who did Shang-Chi, and The Legend of the 12 Rings. Choose a black white film, The Flying Serpent, 1946. It was only like 59 minutes, but I still counted it. It was 4 stars because it was so ridiculously bad. I loved it. A sequel, Cruel Intentions 3, 2004. I'd always wanted to see that movie. I owned it, and I'd seen the first two Cruel Intentions, so I wanted to see the third one eventually. 2.5 stars. It wasn't as good as I was expecting it to be because I love Kerr Smith. Set during the Great Depression, Paper Moon. Oh, whoa, why did I not give that a rating? I didn't give it a rating. Um, I give it 4 stars. I don't think I give it 5. God, I'm not. I thought I did that. Jesus. And I didn't even see when it was completed. It's weird. I guess I was in a rush. Sometimes in a rush to do these things, and today I have the whole day off, so yeah. Uh, a book adaptation did Peter Pan, the cartoon. Gave that 4.5 stars. Your favorite film, Ed Wood, give that 5 stars. That's one of my that's my favorite film of all time. I thought maybe The Disaster Artist might knock it out at some point, and I think they're neck and neck. And I think like Ghostbusters might be up there too. Like Princess Bride might be up there and things like that. A natural disaster film, I did Earthquake, which I gave 5 stars. Set in a location or region, set in your location or region. I did Pocahontas, 1995, the cartoon, and I gave it 4 stars. It's not, it's okay. I like having it in my DVD or Blu-ray collection because it's Disney and it's a part of the Disney history. About an actual composer, musician, band, or group, and I did Elvis, the 2022, with Tom Hanks. Goodness gracious. That's the Tom Hanks, I guess. And Austin Butler as him, and I got a little bit of flack because it was not my favorite. I'm just not into the music video, MTV, shot really quickly kind of like stuff, like flashy cinematography and shit of Baz Luhrmann. I just think after like he did great in Moulin Rouge, he did great. I even sort of enjoy Romeo and Juliet, but then like that's where it stops, you know. That and Moulin Rouge, I'm just like I'm done. Can you just give me, I don't need it felt very Romeo and Juliet. So I give it 3 stars. It wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't my kind of thing. A foreign film, I did Band of Outsiders, which was Quentin Tarantino's one of his favorite movies, I believe, and he actually named his company Band Apart, based on that. I give that 4.5 stars. It was good. It was kind of scary to think, like, you trust people enough and they have you key to your house and they can come in and rob you. Holiday movie, Disney's Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey. Give that 4.5 stars. Okay, I'm being a little, I guess, should have probably gave this 5, but I gave it 4.5. Reservoir Dogs, 1992. 92? Uh, yeah. So I gave it a 4.5. I should have probably gave it 5. Set in a college, Dead Man on Campus. I didn't rate that either. What the fuck is wrong with me? Jesus, did I even do these? I have to look this up because I'm kind of upset right now. Like, I don't know what the hell happened. I have to rewatch those and see what I gave it. All right. Anyway, set in a college. Dead Man on Campus. A film that has won Best Music, Musical Score, Original Score, Aladdin. I gave that 5 stars. I love that, the cartoon. Not the remake, the cartoon. A film that has been adapted from a play, Brief Encounter, 1945. I gave that 4.5 stars. Film with your favorite actor or actress, The Spectacular Now, which has both Miles Teller and Shailene Woodley, who I both love. I give that 5 stars. About a famous person, Steve Jobs. I give that 4.5 stars. It's pretty good. It starred Michael Fassbender and Kate Winslet. It was enjoyable. Seth Rogen and Jeff Daniels. Good movie. Um, Danny Boyle directed it. Set in country you want to visit. Darby O'Gill and the Little People. I was supposed to do some. I was going to do something else, and then sadly, it wasn't actually set in a country that I wanted to visit. It was set in America. 11, I gave that 4 stars. Darby O'Gill. That was sort of last minute, and that was a pain in the butt. Based around a religion, I did Tribulation, and I did that 2.5 stars. The one that starred Gary Busey and Howie Mandel. It was pretty bad. The film celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, I did Snowball Express from Disney, and that was 3.5 stars. It's kind of cute. A film that personally related to me was Ghostbusters, and that was 5 stars. And then this was big, and that was 5 stars. And that's a movie set in a decade, or not set in a decade, but the film that was made in the decade I was born. So there you go. That's it. that is the whole thing. I really had a good time with this. This, like I said, this is the longest video probably, and I just wanted to kind of give you guys a recap of what's going on, and know that as much as I enjoy doing this, and as much as I know I'm not doing it next year, or maybe even the year after that, um, I did have a really good time. I just wish they'd have another one of these where it would be different stuff, for me to pick each time, not just the same ones. So, I'd have to, because my favorite film, just do my favorite, like, I don't have more than one favorite film, but Ed Wood is my favorite film of all time, and I can't choose anything else. So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for checking this out. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you haven't seen any of the old ones, I have a bunch in the playlists on this page, YouTube page. Check it out. And I will be back with other junk. We got Man-Eaters coming back. We got tons of stuff coming. 2023 is still going to be mega busy. I'm trying to just get a bunch of stuff done and ready and put out so that later, you know, but yeah, I'm super excited. There's a lot of stuff going on and I can't wait. Till then, everybody, hope you guys enjoy this and let me know what you guys think. Until then, everybody. Bye.